Hello. That's got to be the smoothest so far. We're practically
I know.
professional.
It's well, don't tell anyone.
Before we
It's
crack up, before anyone actually joins us, look how cool my hair is, though. I just washed it this morning. Look, I got proper ringlets. Like, it's gone proper curly, isn't it? Every time I'm doing it, it's getting curlier and curlier. That's the last I'll say of it.
Look me in the eyes. Right, Dee is very, very busy. We are very grateful to have her, even for a short time. I swear to God, woman, if you waste even a second of this bloody interview with the curly girl method, I am going to get in the car and I'm going to come and kick your ass. Do you understand me?
Yes, miss.
Have you got your computer plugged in?
Yes, it's on 100%. I can hear you back to me, though. Where's that coming from?
Oh, I'm wondering whether it's my bloody microphone.
I think it is.
Let me take that out. Is that better?
I don't know. I'm about to. Yes, much better. Yeah. Oh no, I can still hear myself. Never mind. Can you hear me?
How about that? Better. How does that sound?
I am talking, and let's see what happens. Yeah, slightly better. Yeah, a bit better.
Right. Well, I'm glad I spent £100 on that anyway. Brilliant. Thanks, Amazon. Hey.
No, I can still hear myself. Maybe I'm a bit loud. I'm going to turn that down. Right, okay. How are you, Lucy?
I'm very well, thank you very much. So it's D-Day. We've been looking forward to this for bloody weeks, and I get giddy before we meet the guests.
I know.
No, because the thing is, right, we met through doing online comedy and online performances and online shows, and Dee started knocking the shit out of the internet before the lockdown.
Yes.
This woman has taken her own career into her own hands.
Yep.
And done it that way. Yep. And I just think, wow, if I just find it really inspirational.
Yeah.
And I'm what is it she says at the beginning of her broadcast? Is it not Twinkie Winkies? She's got a very relaxed way, in front of the camera, like,
very natural.
Yeah, I mean, we were in a group chat the other day with a female comedian who was asking us how we're so comfortable on screen. And I think for myself, it's just exposure therapy. And for yourself, it's all your radio background.
Yeah, I mean, it is a constant challenge, because one thing people don't realise, if they don't do this kind of thing, is all you see is your face back at you all the time, whether you're on a Zoom call, Team, Skype, whatever bloody software. I wish they would. I mean, luckily with Messenger, you can delete. You can. Yes, we remember you. How can we forget? Ace, what is it about the sodas? Why are you asking us about sodas all the time?
Because it's the same answer. It's the same answer. We're still water drinkers. Coffee or water.
How are you? Anyway, hope you're well this week, Ace Platinum. Are you still in Australia, or was it Canada?
Oh, I think it was Canada. I'm not sure. Right, last night we were at Ruffers Comedy.
Eating moose burgers. Anyway. Yes, we were.
Yes, it was Canada. Good. Well done. Look at you with remembering brain. Oh, do you know what? Ace, don't apologise. You're a Sync fan now. You're part of the gang.
As long as you click follow on Twitter. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, that's why he's here. He's 3 times, which is more than some of our very good friends, may I just add. So with Ruffaz, I was doing the tech, and it doesn't, right, when you're doing the tech for an online open mic show, you're running the Zoom room. I've got my kitchen, I've got the kitchen timer, I've got my bell, I've got my torch. Hang on, I'm doing well. Hope you both are too. I want to say I was just putting on an act on the first stream. Darling, of course we know you are. You're a very nice person. And look,
and you followed.
you definitely followed. Perfect. Thank you very much, darling. So with the tech, it's not like you're running a bloody front of house in you know, at a Beyonce gig. It's not exactly. But still, the idea of, because Paul, the MC, he'd be like, "Hey, let's give it up for Sarah." Just go straight into Gales. I've got to reset my clock.
Yeah. you were doing like 3, 4, 30, because I was trying to have, I normally host it and I normally do the spotlighting, and you did the timings for me once. And I think there was one time in rough hours I was doing all of it and trying to figure out the new software, trying to figure out how to use Zoom. Oh my God, I thought my brain was going to explode. And I think that's the one you were on, and you were like, for some reason,
cold.
I was a cow bag. I was like, right, who's next? Spotlight. In the video is a flipping nightmare. And you went, she seems someone I'd quite like to be friends with.
I want to stalk her.
You're my stalker. I didn't realise. But it's hard. Teching is not easy, because we were on the Joke-a-thon as well. Yesterday was a full-on joke day yesterday, wasn't it? It was a International Joke Day. Was that a real thing? Did somebody make that up? International, no. Just to put on a 24-hour show?
No, the Joke Day came first, and then Jolie and Rampage put it together. $25 is too much for me to pay for a t-shirt.
They want $25 for the t-shirt.
Yeah, but we get our names on it for International Joke Day.
I can find my own t-shirt for a tenner and put my own name on it if I want to.
Oh, quid down Tesco's. I've got a Sharpie.
Yeah. I got a Sharpie in the drawer and a spare t-shirt. Bridgman.
But with last night, when you're doing the tech for Zoom, this is quite techy boring. You know, stay with us, viewers. The fact is,
you would.
So you'd put up the Zoom, you'd click on the square and say spotlight video, right? And then I can go into gallery and you stay spotlit. Because if I go back on your page, on your screen, it says, do you want to cancel the spotlight? And then you're messaging me going, it's gone to gallery on YouTube. That's not what's meant to have happened.
Because you think, oh, there we are, spotlit them. Happy days. I can just relax and watch the clock countdown. But no, you have to put it to gallery view as well. It's so much to do, really.
Because with gallery view, you can see which little arsehole's making fucking noise. Sorry for my language, guys, but when someone's performing and somebody else is like,
yeah,
you know, if you're making noise. I mean,
I'm one of them.
Cups. Oh, let's give him his due. Right.
Now with the chicken joke, though, right? Ace, did you know that has two meanings? Not just to physically get across to the other side, but because he's going to die because the cars, so he's going to get to the other side in heaven or hell. Either way, it's the other side of the veil.
There we go. How to destroy Richmond.
I'm just going to pop to Twitch to see if anyone else is. Yeah, we've got a few viewers. Hello, everyone. Does anybody else want to join in with the chat? Not that I'm forcing you.
Yeah, come on, guys.
But I would love to see some of your jokes. Might even use some of them in future. No, we won't.
He's already here.
We don't do the stealing. Do we?
Listen, Bridgman.
What? Sorry,
Lucy.
Yay! Hi.
Bring her in. We're bringing her in.
Oh, nice to meet you. Fantastic. Hi, Dee.
Oh, thank you so
much. From one Celtic nation to another. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm saying I'm good, but I'm thinking everybody else is saying that they're all, you know, I've got so much time in my hands. I'm actually sleeping 4 hours a night and climbing Ben Nevis and answering emails and standing in my head.
Yeah. We applaud you. I heard about you climbing Ben Nevis. What was that all about?
Well, what it actually was, originally, my friend Ronnie Park, I don't know if you're aware of him at all, but Ronnie Park's another Glaswegian comedian. Keris knows him as well, and
he does the Late Show with you.
That's right, yeah, he does the Late Show with me, and he does the Wednesday Lockdown Show with me as well. But his friend, Jennifer Emma Bell, she's actually one of the youngest people to get motor neurons disease, and she's in hospice dying, and she's got a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old. So it's a crowdfunding thing for them. Originally, I was meant to be going last week. They cancelled it all. So I was like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't do this big movement for charity. Oh my, and then it got to the next week, and all the guys had spoken in a group chat without me included, saying, why is Dee not doing it? What's going on? And she said something about childcare. So Ronnie came on to the live and more or less said, yeah, me and Dee are climbing Ben Nevis next week. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not actually climbing it. And they phoned my mum on a live. My mum said she would watch the kids, so I'm now climbing it again on Saturday.
Oh, good luck. How high is Ben Nevis? Because I'm down in South Wales. We got Snowdonia in mid to North Wales, but we've got Pen y Fan in South Wales, where everyone locally, they climb to the top of Pen y Fan. All the men do, just for the picture for Tinder. Everyone's got their Pen y Fan picture. It's the same with Ben Nevis. Like, Ben Nevis a proper mountain.
That's a good idea. You've just made it all worthwhile for me. So I'm going to get the top stripped to my brand pants and take. And in fact, I'm just going to get the zoo to come with a lion as well. So I'll be sit with the lion in one hand and top of the mountain like that, and I'll probably have a date at the end of the week.
Wear your good brown pants. Wear the posh ones.
The posh ones with a big lion called Jeff at the top of Ben Nevis.
Yeah. I haven't worn a bra since lockdown. I never intend to again. I've got one of those. Sorry, Lucy, I will let you get in now.
No, because there was some country where they lifted the lockdown measures, and then within one day, some silly woman stood on the top of a mountain and fell down a ravine whilst trying to get that perfect shot. And it's just like,
have you seen those?
We're climbing Ben Nevis, and apparently we're jumping into this water bit that's off a big cliff. So once I get to the top of the mountain, I get to come down from that adrenaline, drive a wee bit with all the boys who love adrenaline, and then jump into freezing cold water. I mean, it's going to be a great weekend.
Oh my God. Please tell me you have lots of alcohol and chocolate waiting for you, either at the start or the end, or both.
If I advocated prostitution, I'd probably buy a prostitute for after as well, just to massage me.
Yeah.
I know it's illegal just now. It's illegal to get a massage. So I was thinking if I get a prostitute to give me a massage, well, she's illegal anyway, so it doesn't matter.
If you're going to be done for something, might as well get done for it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so, first of all, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was your friend Caris Nouns that threw you under the bus.
Thank you, Caris.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a website or a forum I'm on that I didn't share your Dee Does Posh with Caris interview that you did last week. The thing they needed to be said. They need just
It's just what happens is, I think, and not to take this out of context for any woman that's kind of weaker, right? I was brought up with loads of men, right? So when I hit the comedy scene, I'd also been on the gangster scene before the comedy scene. So what we guys behind the keyboard telling me I wasn't worthy and to crawl my vagina, and I'm just thinking, you're making me want to take my baseball bat out its box, dust it down, and kick it round your head. You know what I mean? So they're not used to strong women. And then what they do with the strong women in any industry, they make them out to be moaners and complainers, or they're not getting shagged, and they do all this kind of stuff to demean the reason behind you having an injustice. Just like anybody, you should not have the odds stacked against you. The amount of times I've been told women are not funny. Well, I don't mean to be cheeky, but see, up until I was a comedian, I didn't find many of you fucking funny. Do you know what I mean? So it's now I say it's not my cup of tea. I don't say anybody's rubbish now. But I just feel as if in the industry that we're in, if you're not willing to be either ugly and fat and produce comedy, or be down on your knees giving whatever to get on the 5 minutes, then we're in this middle road. Now, I went independent. I'm a strong person, and I know there's not many people that can do some of the stuff I've done, but that's just through hardship of my childhood. There's nothing you could throw at me in adulthood that I couldn't come back with, because I've been through so much already. But I don't think anybody should have to be armed with that strength just to do what they love. Now, this is a self-employed industry, so don't make you my boss because you run clubs for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you respect if you give me it, and it's lost because what us women do, and some other comedians that are thinking, what they do is they think that this is the holy grail, and if you can't get into the circuit, then you can't get anywhere. And I think that's why I made such a difference, because I thought, oh, and the best it is, girls, wait till I tell you something really, really funny. I wasn't going to be a comedian. I was going to be an actress.
Right.
I was going to be an actress. I did it to stress release off my degree, my acting degree. Found out I was good at it. A couple of guys said I couldn't do it, and I went, hold that acting a minute, I'm just about to boss comedy.
Yeah.
Somebody said really, they made me stay. They wanted rid of someone that wasn't intending staying, but because they wanted rid of me, here I am.
Yeah, I love it. I fucking love when a bloke goes, you're not very good, or you can't do it. I'm like, fine, I'm carrying on. And I don't know if spite is a good reason to carry on with a lot of stuff, but a lot of it, I'm imagining the award ceremony. I would have stopped doing comedy about 5 years ago if I hadn't been all for the fucking dickheads going, oh, well, I think you should give up. Because I'm like, I'm never giving up then, mate. You know, who's anyone?
The people that say that you won't make it, they're not the people at the top. Now, I've obviously broke into this next ladder where I'm talking to people that have been on TV and they've been on big stages. None of those guys have ever dissed me. None of the guys on the next stage that I'm at just now, where it's big corporate ones and, you know, you can fill a room of 1,000 to 2,000. That's the bracket I'm in before we get next. None of these guys dissed me either. It was all the guys that have been sitting on circuits for 20 years and still not been able to sell 5 tickets telling me I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it says it all, doesn't it?
You don't need to be arrogant. I think I'm arrogant. I know I'm a bit forceful and I'm a bit aggressive but I'm humble. And I think, well, if you take the time to get to know me, then you'll know, one, I'm not the person you see online, and two, I'm very humble and I'll help anybody, because see, when you're successful in your own right and you actually believe in your own worth and you believe in your own stuff, you can help anybody because they're not a threat to your craft, because they're a completely different energy from you. And if you build each other, you make connections, and that's what happened to me. I can now run shows. I've got people, comedians in a list that coming down, really good comedians, and I can run my own shows and more or less my own mini circuit. And I proved that you don't need the circuit, so no one needs to demean themselves in order to get somewhere. If it's something you really want, you can break it in any way. And online, guys, I'm sure everybody's found out, it's not as easy as they made us out to be. You know, when they said, oh, it's dead easy just to go on there and rant and rave and be funny. Is it? Where is your online show? You know? So it is. Just that.
No, I was just going to say...
Sorry. Sorry.
I was just going to say, with my comedy, it's taken me a really long time to get to the point where I'm like, well, what do I really want to say? It's not easy. I don't think it's that easy for everyone to go, because especially as women, like, I'm probably the oldest out of all of us, and I think the longer you know, it's subconscious that you're told to shut up all the time. And I was always a pretty strong person. I'd say what I think in school and what have you. I got into trouble for it a lot of the time. And then over time, you know, the more jobs that you're in, where if you say what you really think, you're going to get sacked. So you know, especially I've worked in retail, I worked in assessing. You know, I haven't made it. You know, I've been a manager, and you've got to squash all that down quite a lot. And that's what's so good about comedy, is that you can. But I'm now say what you like, but I'm at the point where I'm like, well, what do I really want to say? Because it is hard, because you think, oh God, I'm going to get into trouble. Because literally every time I've opened up my mouth and gone, well, this is what I think, some mother mofo, will say, actually, or they'll come on your Facebook and have a go at you, and you're like, oh, I'll shut up then. But it's all subconscious. So it is not easy to come out and go, right, this is what I really think. It's just not.
Yeah. I think that's what I said to Keris. It's like Keris' initial opening the can of worms. I said, listen, you think that's the hard part? That's the easy part. Yeah. Now you have to own what you said and fight everybody for a period to get on top, or you shut that can of worms and you shrivel back down. That's your two options. Because when you open that can, and I'm not being big-headed and I'm not trying to act smart, right? But I've had a very sketchy life, right? So if I can stand in a room with 8 guys with baseball bats and not back down and take them on, then I can take 8 guys with mouths and nothing behind it. 3 comedians in particular said these things about me. I've confronted 2 of those 3, and the 3 will come. I will see you soon. You know what I mean? But I've confronted the 2 of those guys to their face, and they couldn't even coordinate a sentence, never give me a reason why they threatened my children, why they said my children were scum, and that somebody should ride a Asda truck through my house and take us all out as social blood. Never worked a day. Never, just thought because of the line of comedy I did that I was obviously some Jeremy Kyle fan that sat on the couch with our joggies and ranted stuff, and they knew nothing about me. Then they played the race card, because in my area, I've not used the word since, but in my area, the word black means dirty. It's never derived from a racial thing. It's never been made out. So we, as Ayrshire people, when we say outside Ayrshire, like, oh, right, but I've never used that word since. They misquoted that, made me racist. That didn't work, because unfortunately for them, they hadn't investigated properly. And my cousins are half African. So, you know, and my cousins have been brought up with me very closely. You know, loads of things. My best friend was Chinese. I could go on all day, do you know what I mean, to justify. And I never ever went out in forums and said, I'm not racist because I have black family. I never did any of that, because I just knew I wasn't racist. And when that failed, they started phoning theatres and saying this and that and saying I was a drug user, blah, blah, blah. And then the theatres stopped listening and they started booking me. So probably my progress did get stalled, like, for 2 years, but I just kept chipping away. And I would rather do it that way and climb and dig into the wall and pull up the ladder myself than getting somewhat top of someone's head and have to do something derogatory in order to get somewhere, and have to always look at a sleazy man thinking that the only reason I'm sitting there getting an award is because I gave him some sort of favour.
Yeah, absolutely. You've worked your fucking arse off by the sounds of it. What's it like in so you're in Scotland? What's it like up there with the scene? Did you have you gigged mainly in Scotland, or has it mainly been online?
Well, actually, literally just before the lockdown, I had my first theatre tour booked, which took me over Scotland, England and Ireland, and then I jumped straight from there, believe it or not, because of the internet, for Canada, and then I was going for there, not all at the same time, obviously, and then going for there, and it was Texas, Louisiana and Los Angeles, and then I was going from there to Vancouver, and then I had Ireland and Northern Ireland. And they all get cancelled because obviously lockdown happened. But I know it was dead easy, and I don't mean this towards anybody that went down, but I've survived days without gas and electricity. So a tour getting cancelled to me, I was like, okay, what can I do now? And then I just promoted my online, and it's like some people in the arts are saying I've got nothing to do, and you know we all need to get back to work. And I'm like one of those people that's frontline workers going, I've not stopped working.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's good that the internet was just a release. It just actually, that's why it went the internet way first. It was just really, I was stressed with doing my graded unit. You know, there was loads of stuff happening. I had the lead role in my play. There was sporadic different dysfunctions within the class that was causing like friction, you know, and people being jealous of each other. It's just a normal thing in an arts class. Had all that, and I just went to the comedy and the online. It was a rant. It wasn't even I'm going to be a comedian or I'm going to be funny. It was just an open rant. The first one about road rage, then the second one was about vinegar, and then it just exploded after there. And that was it. It was just really by chance. And as I said, because of the stuff I got from the old circuit in Scotland, because can I say, England was very supportive of me. All the people in the circuit that I've met in England they're the ones that have promoted me and pushed me forward. So I can't say it all, and I have got certain members in the Scottish circuit that are really good as well, but it's in every circuit. There's people that just sit there and shout their mouth out and most people just don't want to say anything, and then there's the ones that are left at the targets and they're just taking it all.
Yeah,
you know,
I find in Wales, especially in the open mic scene, that kind of level, it's just it flares up now and then, where everyone's just like bipping away at each other. And what I love about online, and especially gigging online, because thanks to Lucy, I've been gigging more like I've gigged in, well, we've both gigged in America. We've done this, we've created this. I was kind of ready to go, you know what, I've had a tip for now. I'd start just when I'm just started to get somewhere, the lockdown, on the circuit, the lockdown happened. But thanks to this, it makes you realise, oh, the world is a big place. In the same way as, when you think, oh, I'm doing quite well in my local area, and then you go to Edinburgh and like, oh, fuck, there are more of us. Oh my God, there's so many more of us. It feels that way. And it's almost like, oh, well, what? I've got nothing to lose then. You might as well just do whatever you find funny, whatever you want to put out there. But you know what? The success is all, I mean, it's the reason why I'd like to be more successful is I can do more of that. Whereas that's secondary, really. What really matters is what you work on and what you put out to the world. And, and even if, a couple of people find it funny, fantastic, isn't it?
Exactly. That's just it. And it's just everybody has a different level of funny. Everybody has what they find funny, and it doesn't matter how good you are at your certain niche. Because I'm obviously a bit vulgar, a bit controversial, and a bit out there. And you have to have a strong constitution. But a lot of people say to me, I'm funny, but the stuff you talk about and how you make it funny is genius, because most people that said those certain words in that context, people would just be like that. But people can't find it because of the way you bring it across. It is hard when you're out right enough and people are shouting some of the things you say to you online and you're with your 7-year-old son holding his ears. It's like things like that. But it's mainly, do you know what I'm just thinking of as well? I've not shared this to my page and it's annoying me because I'm like, how did I do this? Got offline. So I'm going to take my camera off, right, and you can talk, and I'm going to go and share it so we can get more people.
Oh, thank you so much, Dee.
Sorry,
amazing.
It's my diva misconcentration. I'll be back shortly.
Thank you, Dee. Oh, isn't she fantastic? How cool is she? I love her. She'll be back. She'll be back, everyone.
When we do online, so when you do Rough As, it takes all the getting people on there to get the acts lined up and doing all the Zoom tech and even paying for the Zoom account. Like I do that. I do my One Woman Lucy show. I'm on week 11, and that's 2 days of planning, getting all the stuff together. It's not like you just sit down and go, all right.
No, there's so much behind it. I mean, you can look at Joe Rogan. That's all he does. He says he doesn't plan. So potentially you can, but I think it's better if you do plan and prep and decide a little bit of what you're going to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because what I do with my little Lucy show is I make it seem like the One Show. So I do little sections. So this is the village update, and then I do TV intro, and I've even got a little plug section, so I can plug all my friends' different online things. So I sort of try and wrap it all together. But sometimes I just think, I don't want to do it. And then it's really, Dee, can I interrupt?
Yeah, we use StreamYard as well. So I know how to work it all.
Yeah.
But
we're all tech experts now, aren't we?
Dee, so you don't do
you talking about pet there?
Pardon?
What? Sorry, what did you say? Sorry?
I said, so you do independent gigs, right? So does that mean that you book a venue and you put yourself on and you bring the acts with you, as opposed to the normal thing where you would get booked to do a closing spot?
I do 2 options. I do 3 options. So I'll arrange my own gigs with my own acts. In fact, I've got 4 options. I arrange my own gigs with my own acts, and I arrange all that. I book the venue. I usually go, they take drink venue revenue, and I just get the hall. And if it's a big hall, like it's 500, we'll do a ticket split. So they'll take 20%, I'll take 80%. You know what I mean? If it's a big hall, or if it's a civic hall, I'll book it outright. And then I've got the corporate ones where I've got a set fee. They just book me, and whatever they make, they make. They ones are the easiest ones. I prefer those ones. I get corporate gigs online just now as well for Zoom. I do a gig online and they pay for it. I've had the oil rigs pay for gigs. I've had the prisons pay for gigs the last wee while. So it's quite good. But just independent. I've got a list of people. I like working with Ronnie Park, but I've got loads of friends that I use and just rotate it depending on their energy, because I'm quite good at picking, how you need a rhythm. And I've taught myself all of that.
The reason why I'm asking is because I'm loving learning from each guest that we have at the kitchen sink. So we had Barbara Nice, who is, I mean, wow, what a great choice of name, because she's fucking lovely. And she said how it used to be was a pro bill would have 1 or 2 open spots in the middle, and then the new generation of comedians would learn from the professionals. Whereas now it seems to be open mic versus pro bill, closed doors. And because you're running your own night, do you get to bring in more new talent as opposed to the gatekeepers?
What I'll do is I'll have gigs, and I'll have like Ronnie. Ronnie will be like my support act, if you want to say. If I'm doing theatre gigs, there'll be Ronnie's my support act. But if I'm doing smaller gigs and folk will ask me for charity, can you put a couple of comedians together? And what I'll say is, right, well, I'll waive my fee. You could have this guy for 20 quid, you could have this guy for 50 quid, and I could get you a couple of opens as long as you cover the travel, because I don't believe in anybody not getting paid. That's another thing the circuit didn't like me for. I'm like, I'm not travelling all the way around the world for a pint of lager. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. And it's just my mindset. And if I'm self-employed, I'll dictate how I make my money as well, which they didn't like either. Do you know what I mean? So it's I do get open spots, but I don't never not pay them, whether it be travel or £10, £20. But yeah, I do have opens, but I'll just give them 5, and then if it's an open spot that I've really known, I know their stuff and I know it's good, and it will complement my stuff, because you know yourself, girls, there's people who are really good comedians, but they don't complement your style, or they're too much like, or they're too much like you, or they're too slow. So you've got to make sure you've got a really good contrast. But yeah, opens, I use opens, and like I'll interview new comedians and new artists. My friend who for years, Cameron McPhail, go and give him a listen, girls, on YouTube. He's been a singer for years. We used to sit in parties, and he would sit with the guitar and we'd sing, and we'd have great nights. And he's just come out doing his stuff. So like I'll give him some time, and my comedy page has actually got turned into a TV channel over this lockdown. So there's been loads of different people that I can, but I actually feel a bit like Eddie Murphy in his films, playing all these different characters. You know, I use a lot of opens, but I refuse to use them unless I can pay them something.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was talking to a booker the other day, and he was sort of like, I won't put an open spot on my pro bill because that will, ruin the pro bill. And I was thinking, and he was like, I'm not putting somebody with a shit 5. And like you said, you interview even a 5 spot. If a 5-minute chat, you can determine whether or not they've got chops or they haven't.
I know you'd said about prep, but I don't prep. Not even for my big shows. It's bullet points I use, and then I just look at my crowd and assess my age bracket, and then assess kind of just looking at them, because I was a psychic medium before I did comedy. So I'll assess body language, and I'll say, right, this sketch will work, and I'll roll with it and go with that. But I very rarely, people would ask me, what was your set in 90, and people will go, well, that was a such and such, because they've rehearsed it so much, but I can't remember because I've not done that.
Yeah, but you plan your sketches though, isn't it? So a little bit. Yeah, but not. It doesn't have to be scripted as such. No. Because we don't prep, do we? I mean, Lucy does.
Not for this.
I tried a little bit of research,
because
but I do
when comedians start talking, when it's difficult, when comedians start riffing and talking and getting a subject across, to then to interrupt and go, can I just ask you about such and such? And it just completely destroys.
I'm like, oh, shut up then. Sorry. Sorry, Lucy.
But we've had it's been noticed by the newbies or the online open micers that the professionals are seeing online comedy as a little bit desperate or beneath them. Usually said by people that have tried it and weren't very good at it.
That's what the thing is. They thought it was dead easy, and they thought it was just idiots online. And don't get me wrong, we do have people online that are just portraying their normal life, and that it's displays of mental health. It's not entertainment, and people find it funny. However, comedians, some of the best comedians I know in this day and age are now online. Paul Smith has done it the exact same way as me, and he's bigger than me, but he done it the exact same way as me. But it's I think now that this time of lockdown, that's why half of them stayed off it, because they weren't even willing to put themselves out there to see how shit they were at it online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I think
it's different energy completely. Your online comedy is completely different from stage, and if you've got to be able to do the two types of things. My stage shows are completely different from what's on here.
Yeah. I think it seems to me that, you know, the ones, we all know the ones that they've been doing the circuit for 20 years and they've not changed a word of their set in that 20 years. I think though potentially those acts probably went, oh shit, oh dear, you know, especially they haven't, I don't get how anyone can do that, because like how I like doing it to be creative, and you know, only thinking this stuff all the time is quite enjoyable. So that's me being very judgmental there. Sorry everyone, but
Well,
you know,
somebody did ask me a question.
Oh yeah.
Went away.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's from the Vale. So the Vale cartoon, it's a Welsh cartoon that's on YouTube, and it's going from strength to strength. So we always try and give them a big up. But question for Dee, you said you got into comedy by acting, but do you have any influences or stand-ups that you currently enjoy?
Currently, I'm a big fan of Billy Connolly, and I'm a big fan of Lee Evans, and I'm a big fan of Kevin Bridges, Leo Kearse as well. You know what I mean? I like Leo Kearse as well. He's not
obviously show in Edinburgh last year. He was brilliant.
Yeah, he's amazing. So I just recently knew to his stuff. But do you know what it's like? Once you go into that line of work, unless you're not making it, you'll not get time to watch comedy once you're doing it. You know, you've not, people like, did you see my video? I'm like, no. No. I'm just so honest, I'm so self-absorbed. I haven't even seen an episode of EastEnders in lockdown, never mind anything else.
It's there's a couple of people that I've starred it. They've said, this is my show, I want to watch it. And every time I sit down for 5 minutes to press something, life goes, oh, hello. You forgot that this is happening or that's happening. And it's just like, oh. I mean, there have been people that have been sort of a bit snippy, because the reason why I'm fascinated with yourself, Dee, is because you've got the online presence, right? I am an upstart bitch that needs to remember my place, because I've only done 14 real life gigs, but since lockdown, I've done over 70 performances. And the thing is,
how do you need to know your place? What's with this place and label that people keep
sometimes you do. Sometimes you get.
Hold on a wee second.
It's not a Dee show unless she mutes and shouts at the dog.
Really sorry. Every time I can hear me talking and they're going mental.
We have a real Dee show.
I know, it's just because they're all in and the dogs just hear my daughter. They totally love my daughter, and if they hear her at all, they just go crazy and they won't see anything. So the best solution is for her to come down and kick them out before I go absolutely mental. But I kept it polite there, because they're usually mute it and do this.
I've seen it. It's brilliant.
Don't know your place anywhere, right? Your place is your craft, your work, right? There's a thing about self-employed that a lot of the entertainment industry, unless you're harmful, unless you're undercutting people, taking work off people, you are your driven boat, you're your boss, and if you're picking up fans on the way or picking up passengers into your boat, who's anybody to tell you where your fucking place is? Excuse my language.
Swear away. I preach. I love that. I love it.
They told me I wouldn't split lucky 5 folk buy her tickets. My first gig, I was only on the scene 6 months. I've only done 4 or 5 open spots. I know that's why they hate me, right? And I booked my own gig out of arrogance because they told me I was this and I was that. And instead of shriveling away like most people would do and go and beg for spots at other places, I went and booked my own gig and thought, no, I'll do online stuff. I'll build it up and I'll get. And I put that online gig up. And sorry, I put that first, and it was for the comedy. It was for not the Fringe, for the Glasgow one in February. And I put into the comedy and I paid my fee and then advertised my show. My show was sold out in a day.
Wow.
One day,
Wow.
I'd only been on the circuit 6 months. The show was sold out in a day, and I was my own manager for 2 years. And in that 2 years, was somebody that wasn't educated, somebody that would never make it, somebody that was an idiot, somebody that was a racist, somebody that shouldn't be doing comedy. I built a 72,000 following on Facebook alone, and built shows, and then had these same people ask me if I would advertise their show. No.
Hell no.
What a lot of comedians do, like especially girls, is what they do. They get up so high, and it's just the accepted thing. I'm not saying that I'm judging them. Like me and Kes have had many conversations. We're both in a different time. Who's to say I wouldn't have been her, because she's very strong as well. But it's a different time now. We do have a kind of voice if you shout loud enough. You know what I mean? But very much where I just think going forward, you just row your own boat, and if any negative passengers come into it, you put them off. That's not me saying that you shouldn't tell somebody that they're not funny. If they really aren't funny and they're going somewhere and everywhere they go, people are wanting to leave, then you as a person, as a professional, a friend, should say in a diplomatic way, but what's wrong with the circuit is instead of just saying something constructively to you and letting you see if you take it on board, they slate you and they belittle you and they bully you. That's what they do, and that's not acceptable. It wouldn't be acceptable in their wee office job that they're doing Monday to Friday while they're doing their wee pub gig now and then. You know what I mean? And it's not their full passion and they're bitter because they've not made it. Well, you didn't put the same work in as me, mate, so don't start bitching on me. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I say. If you're not at my level, you've not put the same work in as me. It's quite simple. If you're funny and you're not at my level, then you've not put the work in. Don't blame me, but do you know what I mean? So that's the way I see it. But at the same time as well, girls like you as well, I will support anybody. See if anybody gives me good energy, I will never be, why is that open spot messaging me for a shot at my gig? You know what I mean? You were once that open spot, you fucking asshole. You know what I mean? So you were once that person that thought, why is Kevin Bridges not answering? And by the way, Kevin Bridges, you've still not answered that Twitter. You know what I mean? That I sent 6 years ago, and it was a full paragraph, and I was absolutely disgusted that you were meant to be a pure sound guy and you never replied to me. I have no reason why. I do know now. I'm nowhere near his level, and I get about 600 messages a day, and I swear to God, you get desensitised. People send you a big list of their whole life story, and they're just like, well, you had me, hello.
I actually messaged Michelle Visage to come on the sync. I said, can I send you more details? And she said, yes, of course you can. I was nearly sick. I was lying on the floor. I couldn't feel my pulse. I was like, ah! She never got back.
She did tell me you could send the details. She didn't say she was going to do anything with them.
Yeah, she said, yeah, you can send your details. One day. I
just work with law of attraction, and I just manifest things. I manifest most of my stuff, and I work in a good energy. I don't stay anywhere I'm not wanted, and I don't make comedy my be all and end all. To keep it crash and burns, I could be a lifeguard. I've already been a trained counsellor. I'm a life coach. I've got other things, and I think that's why the circuit didn't really get to me, because I wasn't seeing it as my only option. I could have went to acting. There was loads of different wee thing boats, but once they put a hole in my boat and said it was going to sink, I was like, aye, that's not going to happen, mate. Watch me turn this into the Titanic and sink your ship. Just what advice would you give people wanting to try and book gigs?
And this is from a fellow comedian, Kyle Davis, who is the master of the one-line. Beautiful.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I missed that last bit. He's a master.
He's master of the one-line puns. He's really good at one-liners, like bang, bang, bang. Really great set.
What I'm doing just now is people are starting to message me. I've already got gigs that obviously need to be rearranged, which just like a hairdresser, their gigs have to be honoured first. So what I'm saying is, listen, my books are going to be full when I go back. If it's just a comedian you're looking for, if your audience does want Dee Maxwell, then you're going to have to wait until I really know. I'm not booking anything and then having to cancel it again. Friends have done that. They've temporarily booked other dates on other gigs, and then they've had to pay. I just cancelled all with a view to postpone once everything restrictions were completely lifted and we knew what we were dealing with. So that's my advice. Don't stress yourself out, Kyle, trying to give dates out and then you have to move them back, or then this restriction doesn't work and it's not making enough money. What I've also done as well is I've took quite a bit, not quite a bit, but quite a huge bit off my corporate fees, because nobody's going to be able to get the same people in, so you can't expect the same fee. Some people will, but I've reduced my fee for that basis for the people as well. I want other people to prosper for me bringing into their establishment. But my advice would be, don't book anything until you know exactly what the entertainment industry is doing, because there's so many whispers and there's not enough noise. We don't know what's happening yet. You know, with
well, Sarah and I've hatched a plan. We're getting a pickup truck. I've got a microphone, I've got a mic stand, and I've got my little portable amp. So we're just going to do guerrilla comedy. We're going to pull up at parks and lay-bys and stuff and just get people to listen. We're just going to shout at them from the back of a pickup. You know? If they don't like it, they can fuck off.
That's a great idea, though. But, you know, you've got to just keep thinking out the box. I think because online's comfy for me and I'm making enough money from my couch. Do you know what I mean? Because this was my baby. A lot of people with this type, even if you're an actress, because you're looking in at your phone and you're talking and you're aware of your phone, most people just want it and they're talking to it like they're talking to a person that is deaf and it's their mum and they have to speak. No, you don't have to. You have to just be you. When I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at my face in the screen. I'm looking up at you. I'm talking to whatever one I'm talking to, although it looks the reverse and it looks as if I'm looking at the other person, but I know who I'm looking at. You know what I mean? So, but it's just finding your niche and finding what you need to market and work on, and not being ignorant to advice, but making sure the advice is coming from people that want to see you do good. Why would you take it? Would you take advice from the teacher that said you would amount to nothing and you were nothing but a waste of space? Would you ask them how to finish your essay?
Yeah, very true.
It's the same thing. I think anyway.
I've now practiced my 5 on stage on online so much that I've added extra toppers, I've removed the weak bits, I've worked on my performance and my timings, and I've extended it to a 10. And then yesterday, Sarah and I performed for International Joke Day. It was 24 hours of online comedy all around the world. And I have to say, I've watched our sets about 3 times last night. We fucking smashed it. And I think I'm not having anyone look down on online comedy. No,
it's good. You've got to be good at it. It's got to have its place. You've got to be, and it's tighter than stage stuff. You would have noticed it's tighter. The pauses don't work online. Pausing for dramatic effect and for crowd and for breath and reaction doesn't work here, because comments are flying in. So you don't make the pauses the same. I think that's why when I go into one, I don't breathe. You know what I mean? So, you just see all my regular fans going, right, Dee, breathe, Dee, breathe.
Sarah and I are both Welsh, so we have to remember we have to speak at normal.
Well, I don't know if we do.
No, my boss.
I can do a 5-minute set in 2.
My boss Becky was from Wales, right? And I swear she just turned into Fireman Sam when she get raging. Do you know what I mean? And she was just like singing like pure rage words. She was like singing like, but she was talking about killing people, and it just disturbed the life out of me. I'm going between her putting out a fire in my garden as Fireman Sam, and between that she's singing murder to me. It's scary stuff. I haven't been to Wales yet, and I want to. I've always, and I'm not just saying this because you know how people's Americans. Oh my God, I've got cousins in Edinburgh. I can't wait to go there. But I have always wanted to go to Wales. It's lovely, but it's so far away from me.
Yeah, you'll have to come down at some point.
I will.
You'll meet up. I tell you what, North Wales is Cowan Lush. I'm from South Wales. But then we get a lot of attention. We get a lot of money. Cardiff gets all the money, and in Wales we all moan about that. But North Wales is beautiful. It's so gorgeous. You know, anywhere Ceredigion, Carnarvon. Carnarvon's just like, I love it so much.
If you're from the lockdown, I've appreciated our own stuff. I've actually been walking up hills that are literally out my back door. I'm not lying. It's proper hills that get proper names. They've actually named on the map as Misty Road. I've been here for 39 years, and I've never this thing's Google was knew about this hill before I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, what do you mean, Strava? You know where Misty Law is? I've stayed here for 39 years and I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
So
I loved,
yeah,
like, at the beginning of lockdown, I was just walking around and I realised, like, noticing roads I'd never walked up and down before and back cuts and stuff all the way through the housing estate. And I'm like, oh my God, I walked through one area that I thought, well, if I did need to murder someone, this would be the place to put it. And it's literally a 5-minute walk from my house. It's amazing.
well, you can't put it there now. The first time that some body goes missing, they're going to look at that 5-minute spot and straight at your door.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but part of my 10 set's about body dumps in lockdown.
No, honestly, it's just I think it's just got to the stage of, we're just getting ridiculous out of comedy now. It's like Nicola Sturgeon said the other day there that she's going to make it compulsory for masks in shops. I was like, well, I'll just be online then. I'm not going to another shop in my life. You know what I mean? Yes, it is pure vanity.
My sister made a load of masks for our family, and they're fine. They're pretty material. I wish the government would say, right, you have to wear it, because then people would. Because some people do, some people don't. You feel like a bit of a knob, really. If everyone was wearing them, I don't think it'd be a big deal.
I'd still be like Mad Max, only putting it on when the police are about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want the haircut. If I'm going to go full Mad Max, I want a bit of Tom Hardy for a start. That's what I want my Mad Max to be.
Our previous guest, Katie Zane, has just written a brand new joke about masks because she had to go see her sister. She had to wear this mask for 4 hours, and I'm so in love with this new joke. She goes, "I now understand what balls feel like." It's just beautiful.
Yeah,
just beautiful.
Aww.
Well done, Katie. We've got a question. I know that you've got to rush off, so we're going to quickly fire some questions at you. So I love the fact it's so big we can't see Dee. Here's a question I've always wanted to ask. Years ago, I met a very famous Scottish-American comedian whose act is very aggressive, and in person was blown away by how humble and sweet he actually was. So what is your act? 50-50 or 100% all you? I think I can answer that for you. That's Dee.
My act is probably an exaggeration drunk on drugs version of me. It's probably the older. I'm very much a green tea drinker, girls. I'm giving it away here, right? But I'm very much a green tea drinker, and I'm very much read books and Shakespeare. And my perfect is a spa night away, not a bottle of Buckfast and a dance and a thingy. But at the same time as well, when I have a good party, then the D stage comes out and they go, "Oh, she's in there. She's just been hiding." Yeah, my act is 70% me, but 30 not, because it's very roughed up. There's a lot more sexual content than I myself would be comfortable talking about normally, and also it's very, very brash and loud, and I'm loud, but I'm articulate with my surroundings as well. So I would say 70-30 would be a good one. PMT week 50-50.
And Kyle raised up, we've got McCuntcliffe and Aberystwyth festivals that are, my background is that I used to work festivals and events. So during the summer, I was in festival, but I was working it and getting paid. And then I went into truck driving. So I was still away during the summer. So I'm actually, the first summer I've got to not be on the road or be schlepping around bloody steel poles somewhere, and I can't leave the fucking village.
Shit. Shit. What's your lockdown status now anyway? What stage are you at? What are you the same as us?
I'm in England. We are July the 4th. Every arsehole is coming to the southwest. That's basically how we know. We can feel that it's like Jurassic Park with that fucking glass of water, right? Every fucking idiot with a caravan. The M5's going to be fucked within half an hour with fucking strewn bits of clothing and tyres everywhere because they can't drive. They don't know how to do it. So they all come here, even though we've got very few hospitals, very few resources. They're going to come here. They're going to fill our laybys with shit. They're going to cover our beaches with shit. And they're going to fill all the pubs. So that's where we are. And whilst we all stay inside and look through the curtains, I'm not going over there. Fuck off, no way. And then with Sarah, you're not allowed to go nowhere.
Nope. In Wales, we're still pretty much on lockdown. The non-essential shops are open, but we have to stay local. So they recommend you stay within the 5 miles. So as long as you've got a shop within 5 miles, you're okay. But do you know what? No one's adhering to it. No one's doing it anyway. People are just taking the piss. And I saw a list of the police fines that they've given out. I'd like to give a nice shout out to Dyfed Powys Police. What are you guys on? Are you on crack or something? Because they have given out nearly 1,500 fines compared to the South Wales Police. We've got most of our population is South Wales. Dyfed Powys, Mid Wales, 1,500 fines issued. South Wales Police, 340 for the whole. It's just they're taking the piss. So it feels very much like, guys, you are fining. You're there to work for us. Why is there such, are we all suddenly driving to Mid Wales?
You're going to hate me. You're going to hate me because I just don't buy into it. I just think that COVID-19 is a big cover up for freaking something else, and it's shit.
A cover up for what?
I don't know what it is. I don't believe it's as big as I think. There's something else to try to help. I don't know if they're trying to save the environment, to stop the pollution or whatever. But I've got nurses and wards that told me that they're sitting playing. They're saying there's this pandemic at the height of it, and they were saying that we're playing pool, but we've been told not to say it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, keep yourself to yourself. Make sure you're adhering to the rules. Make sure you're keeping yours and yours safe. And see outside of that, what can you control other than get your blood pressure up?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You can't control it, and you can have differences of opinion on it. And I mean, I tend not to talk about it because I fell out with friends over it. One of my friends is a frontline worker, and she was basically shouting at me that I didn't understand her stress. And I was like, no, that's not fair. Just I don't mind clapping for you every Thursday and thinking you're doing a great job, but don't sit there with that big arrogance that you're some sort of fucking superwoman. We're all doing a good job. I'm trying to homeschool my wains, juggle my job, get essential shop for my family at shielding. We're all doing a job, and yes, your job's important and stressful. And she pure went off in one who screaming at me, and I was like, do you know what? This is why I hate this period of time. I just people saying having a different opinion means you're killing people. No, I'm sorry. Nobody knows what's best for COVID-19 because nobody fucking knows what they're dealing with, really. So nobody knows. There's those big riots. Where's the spike? It's not here, right? There was there's other people that have been. One of my close friends from day one said, "Shut up. I'll do what I like and let him caught." He's been in COVID hotspots. He's actually cuddled somebody that was suggestively in hospital with COVID, didn't survive it. He's not even so much as had a cough. So what if it's that contagious? He's not asymptomatic because of his job. He has to get tested all the time. He's not got any of that. Yeah. And he's been in bigger hotspots. And here I am in my house, riddled with anxiety, peeking out through my curtains. And I'll probably be the one that gets it because nobody knows. If he's in these big airborne hotspots, which he 100% has been in, I know for a fact, none of his family's had it. He hasn't had it. So there's that statistic. There's all these riots. Oh, we've always stayed in our house. And I'm not saying they didn't have the right to shout for what they were shouting for, because everybody has the right to shout about their injustice, right? But with all these people standing wall to wall, and apparently the ethnic minorities and stuff like that, that's where the big problem is. It's apparently attacked them more than it does, obviously, white race and other races. So they've all came condensed. I haven't seen that spike. I haven't seen them get in hospital. I think they don't know what they're dealing with, and all these guidelines and safety are needed because we need to make some sort of precaution to see if they work. But I'm not 100% sold on that they are working what we're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the important thing is for everyone to realise, I'm going to look right down the camera now, right? If it is true, if it isn't true, if somebody's going to die, if someone's not going to die, but it doesn't mean you can go to the beach and drop your fucking litter.
Exactly. Yeah. And you shouldn't be fucking doing that. And you know what's even more annoying about that is the likes of people like yourselves staying in the fucking house and adhering to the rules, and somebody from some other town, and say it can be spread that way, is just going fuck it and come into your beach, right? So if you want to say fuck the rules, go to your own beach if you have one. If you don't, move somewhere that does, but fuck off.
Yeah.
So I get that. But I can't be a hypocrite, because if I sit here and say, they'll shut up, Dee, you've cuddled me. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not I'm very much a spiritual believer, and I'm not reckless. I do think the precautions there because we don't know what we're dealing with, not because it's 100% right the way they're dealing with it. I'm just saying they're doing a great job at trying to protect us in the most countries, apart from Boris. But anyway, it's very much they're doing their best, and I do admire them. I wouldn't like to run the country, but I don't 100% think any of them know what's causing it, how it's coming about. There you go. We were under lockdown for ages, and there's Leicester under lockdown. Right, so I pay close attention. This is where the intelligence comes in. That spike with Leicester should have happened last week if it was going with what they're saying scientifically and statistic. So why is it now? That's what I'm saying. They don't know.
And I tell you what, if it's like an experiment and how you can control the public, it's working. They can definitely control the public. That's for sure.
It's working apart from the Mad Maxes.
Yeah.
Well, doing the online gigs, I've dragged Sarah, whether she's consent or whatever. So I've dragged her onto online open mic nights, and I've made friends with a lot of friends from different places. So like when Sydney opened up and somebody went to the open mic there, Melbourne's back under lockdown. And then with Texas, they opened up, and the first weekend 23 bars shut because they couldn't adhere to social practices, and they were just all touching and licking stuff. And there's another spike in Florida, and it's like, if it's bad, why are you lifting the lockdown? I don't understand. If we're seeing, if it's all scientific, factual evidence, right?
Do you know what it is? What, in my opinion, I know I'm not a big scientist, and I'm not, but I do investigate a lot. I spend a lot of my time analysing, right? What you need to remember is as well, COVID-19, but it's putting people under lockdown. Now, you think of somebody before lockdown, right, that has mental health issues or domestic violence or has poor living conditions. The reason they need to lift it is because people that didn't have these problems. So we've already got, I think it's something like 17% of the world with mental health issues of the severe kind, and then it's a higher statistic, right? Once we come out of this lockdown and come out the other end, or they get to know what that is and deal with it, they have to minimise what they then have to deal with, what the destruction in other health areas, like the rise in cancer, the rise in mental health, the rise in heart attacks, strokes, obesity. People have been in the house just eating their way through it. So they've put on 4 and 5 stone. So they're now a health risk as well. So a lot of the things, I think, in my personal opinion, they have to release it a little and then let us out. And maybe even they will only let us out for a wee while like children and then say, no, you're grounded, get back in. You've had a wee play in the puddle, it's time you get back in because the rains came again. But they need to do that because people are going off their nuts. Yeah. People are really seriously damaged by this restricted life. A lot of people, you remember, we live in a world of choice. We live in a world where if a child decides they don't want to get their standard grades, the mum says, well, as long as you find something else you want to do, darling. That's the world we live in. So our generation are used to choice. We're used to being able to have a choice in what we do. So these restrictions are too much for some people. And that's where I came in. I'm basically that arsehole going, well, I'd rather die at the beach than I would in my house. You know, your head gets to that place where you think, well, if I'm going to die, I'll fucking do it living. You know what I mean? So that's what some people are getting to. That's what's happened. And it's not the right answer and it's not fair. And I'm not saying that you should do that. And I don't advocate. It's how the individual deals. And the other thing you should stop doing is judging each other and how you're dealing with it. Because people will go out and break the rules. But you know what? Some of them are going out and break the rules because you're not going to their funeral next week. Because they need a cuddle, they need a social interaction, they need to cuddle their mum even though they know they're not supposed to, but they need that because they're so depressed and nobody's considering those brackets of people or the huge...
I can walk to my best mate's house from here. She's about 3-minute walk from here. And she's just had some bad news and all I want to do is go and hold her.
And the fact that you haven't says strength, but it's the same thing as... It also takes strength to take a risk and cuddle somebody because they know they need it. So in each sense, and then people shout, "Oh, you're killing people!" But you've got to be in that position. And I'm not saying either is right or wrong. It's just like somebody said, my gran was dying. We didn't socially isolate, me and my family. At the time the lockdown had just been announced, my gran had about 2 weeks left in her. We didn't socially isolate. We've been looking after her all that time when it was all circulating. We all stayed together. We all broke the rules 100%. We all cuddled when she died, and we all sat in the same room together. None of us get COVID-19. I'm not saying you wouldn't. We took a risk and we were lucky. But I'm not, and it's like somebody said to me, oh, well, my gran was in and I never seen her before. I said, well, that's good that you were able to do that, but don't judge me because I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
you have to have these real life events to then shout. It's like my friend was shouting, a really good friend was shouting about the queue at Primark, and I'm like, you're forgetting people that don't have anything. You're forgetting people that live month to month to get their kids leggings and one pair of shoes to do them out that month. You're forgetting that these people actually do need to go to Primark. They need clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Stop being so judgmental. And you know, straight away you see all these jokes on Twitter and everybody taking the mick out of the massive queues at Primark, and like, I'd give it a couple of days, mind, but even so, I would never judge anyone who's queuing in that queue. I'm like, good on, you know, you clearly have to.
Well, it was Rachel. It was the comedian Rachel Fairburn that made me click on it, because there's like, oh yeah, everyone's standing next to each other. Like, then the joke is Primark sells masks, so you're standing next to each other to go and buy a mask. It was, you know, it did write itself a little bit of a joke. But the point is, there were people queuing at B&Q and at Fortnum and Mason's and in Harrods. Yeah. But it was such a social shitbag comment to be like, look, the commoners are collecting.
Yeah,
fucking
that's basically that's what he said. But you know what? See, for being in retailing, can I just put something out there? You know, the commoners that shop in the cheap shops, it's the folk that think they aren't common and buy big houses they can't afford that shop in Primark.
Yeah.
That's in Primark. You know what I mean? The ones that have got a big fancy house to say, look at me, my big fancy house, my big car.
That's how you get the big fancy house. You don't waste money.
I know. I want to go. When was the last time you bought 5% fat mince? You're in the 30s. You know.
Dee, I did want to ask you, what do you think about the all the sex scandals, sexual harassment stuff that happened last week? The Chris D'Elia, did you see about this? Chris D'Elia in America, he's been caught out trying it on with young people and all that, and it's all come up in Britain as well. We've got some shitty comedians.
I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, right? So I've done a lot of studies on paedophiles and people who control women and men too, because there's abusers that are women as well, so let's not forget that, right?
Yeah.
And most of the big paedophile rings, believe it or not, is run by women. It's madams that run them. The trafficking into Scotland, England, Wales and UK from Russia and Bulgaria and different countries, and taking the youth out of homes. People go, pimps, women, usually go to like homes, you know, kids' homes, residential homes, get them coming out on the way out, offer them drink, and these kids will disappear all weekend in the home, know where they're going, but there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. And they'll pay these kids. And the other thing that annoys me as well is, just giving you a wee insight before I give you my answer, is they shout about race neutrality. I'm talking about the Asian paedophile ring. Sorry, ladies, but white elite paedo rings run it all. You know what I mean? So it's not, it's like they out these small, if they weren't coming to the country, this wouldn't be happening. Bullshit. The biggest paedophile stuff is predominantly white, fat. It's there, right? But what they do is these people find rings, and they don't have to be paedophile rings. And what they do is they test the water, right? If you're a sexually driven male, let's go into the man that likes to demean the women. Usually men that demean women, right, are usually guys that have had mother issues, or their dad said that they weren't a man. Or usually arrogant men are alpha male that are really alpha. Their man's dad's told them they can't cry, get up. And they've done all that, and they've also, that same man has talked to their missus like shit and slept with people all round about her and showed them the wrong moral compass. But what they've also watched by this behaviour is they've learned how to do it. So what they'll do is they'll sit in a social circle, this certain person that's maybe this type of, and they will test the water. Like say, oh, you've got some set of tits on you, and you're just laughing it off. That comment's acceptable. So then they'll go to the next comment, and they'll watch their gallery, so they'll watch the people that are either ignoring it or joining in, and they'll know when to stop. So that's when it annoys me when people say, well, it's nothing to do with me. You're part of the process, because if you make them aware that their behaviour is not acceptable, they won't test it in your voters. So it actually does come down to us all. See that? Oh, look at them all jumping in the bandwagon, holding each other's hand. Yes, that is what it takes for it to stop. Because they've all been doing it in different forms. And for 100% fact, an abuser, paedophile, any of these types of people, they test their water. They slowly paddle in it, see where they can go, see where their victims are, pick their victims, pick their ring, pick their surroundings, and then they start. That's all a process before they get to where they are. And that's why they're in every organisation. And that's why I get more annoyed at the people that stand back and allow it to happen. It's like, yeah, that's okay.
Have you seen them all come out? They've all said, I did. Why didn't you say this was happening around me? I didn't know any of this was happening. And you're right. If somebody said, oh, Sarah cracking tits, and they just thought, the fact they didn't go, mate, that's a bit fucking 70s, fuck off. Yeah. That's the thin edge of the wedge.
Because what happens is, it's the bully by association, right? So, say I say to you, I'm needing a haircut. I mean, your face is a wee bit of a ball face, like mine, right? Your face is a wee bit of a ball face, and you laugh at it, Sarah. You're like, it's acceptance, isn't it? It's acceptance that comment is okay. So, therefore, the person standing by is as much to blame, if not more sometimes, than the person delivering the unacceptable behaviour. And that's why they do say in abuse. And that's why when people say, but it was none of my business. Yes, it was. The well-being of another human being is your business and is always your business.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how even with the Black Lives Matters and the All Lives Matters and the big argument, I just wanted to say, can you all fucking pipe down and just look after each other?
Yeah.
Why do we need to shout about? A predominant skin colour? Why can we not just all support each other? My personal opinion: there's good and bad people, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. So stick with your good and shut the other up. But with that type of thing, we all have a responsibility for that to stop. It's like Jeffrey Epstein and all the other big elite things. Every person, look how many people in that infrastructure facilitated that man to do what he did and is now standing going, but I thought he was just a nice guy. You knew he wasn't a nice guy. You knew what he delivered, but because of what he could offer you and because of what he could give you, just the same as the people in the circuit that are horrible, what he can offer you, you allow him to do what he does to other people, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would rather go fucking hungry than facilitate somebody like that just so I could get a couple of jobs. But the most of us are too busy saying it's not my business and I need to work. It is your business. You can't make a successful, arrogant bastard famous without giving them money and pushing them up there. So if somebody's able to make clubs and run clubs and dictate who's in them and dictate who gets work on, how they like them, then some people along the line facilitated that guy to get, or that woman to get to where they are. So yes, you are part of the problem. So that's how it works, and that's how to break it. It doesn't matter who it is, just don't accept it. Don't stand there and allow anybody to feel uncomfortable with comments, even if they're not directed at you. And that's why I've been in so many fights, so many arguments, so many pubs, so many police cells.
Especially when you're the lone woman at a gig. We've all been there. We've been the lone woman at a gig. One of the others will make some sort of comment, and often I'm second guessing myself and going, oh right, am I being too sensitive? Am I like, what do I say to that? I don't, I was at one gig where the guy went, oh, I would, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he turned to the others like I wasn't there, going, oh, Sarah, I would, as if to say at some point they've had a conversation about who they would have sex with, and they must have all gone, oh, not Sarah.
What I would say to that is, right, so if I walked up to that same person that said that to you, and I walked up to him and I went, I fucking would, and had no inclination this man was married or with someone or at all shy, had maybe anxieties, had no inclination that this person would even consider sex with me. How did I know they weren't even a lesbian or they were gay? And I just presumed and put my energy and my presence and my sexual energy onto that person. So unless you're paying for me to do that in an imaginary sense to somebody on stage, that's not your boundary. Yeah. So no, you don't ever assess it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You can just go, listen, maybe you can joke about it if you're not strong enough and say, maybe I'm just a wee bit woke in that. But see, if you mention my tits again, I'm going to fly kick you. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's like, I do it that way. It's like, yeah, you think my tits are great. Well, you're not going to be able to see them once I put fucking something in your eye. You know what I mean? So I usually come back with, holy shit, she'd eat me if I even touched her ass. you know, so I do have that. But as a whole collective, women, new spots, vulnerable people, we stand together, and it doesn't matter who it is that's getting it. You stand there and you don't allow anybody, because that is the main power that these people have, because you're uncomfortable with them, but not enough to give up your job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's where they've got you, and that's where they get new recruits, and that's where they build their wee army of people that think the same as them and kiss their arse. And every time they come on an online fucking forum and start slating somebody, they've got 16 minions to help them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, but somewhere along the line, he was nobody, and somebody helped create him. Somebody allowed that person to be who he is now and have that power. So that's where you need to stop the chain of events before it gets to the big wheel where you have to basically break the bike to get it stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, food for thought.
I'm so aware of the fact. I'm so aware of the fact that you were busy and you've still given us more than we've asked for. I knew we were going to fall in love with you, but we've really fallen in love with you. Thank you so much, Dee. You've been absolutely amazing.
I've not anything in the future I can help with, girls, and we'll even get a meet up and talking. Let me know about your gigs and stuff, and I'll any help I can give you. All right. I'll give you a shout.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fans, we're going to share all of these. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Right.
Well, Lucy's fangirl in a sec. Let you get your breath back. I'm so glad that Kyle has commented, because for a while there I'm like, are we not online anymore? No one's commenting. But she was so mesmerizing to watch and listen to, and what an interesting perspective, talking about how these things work, you know, like the rings and stuff, you know, the when she was saying about how the abuse works no matter what circle it's in. That's very interesting. And I'm like, I'm sure she must have done some, I wonder if she's done some social work in the past, you know, or just been so aware of the
coaching.
Such an interesting person though, isn't it? So
I imagine it's because she's had to push herself through these situations, and these are the talks that she's given herself. And don't forget, she's got children as well. I mean, we didn't raise it, but you know, I think she's got a son and 2 daughters, and she's going to be trying to raise them. You know, every parent tries to raise their children differently to how they were raised. It's always always the, you know, everyone tries to do, oh, that's how not how I was raised kind of thing. And she just sounds like somebody that if her child asked her something, she'd give them the honest answer.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be a don't talk to your mum kind of thing. She's just, I mean, look, we said at the beginning of the show, Dee's really, really busy. She can only give us half an hour, and then she gave us 65 minutes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Phenomenal. And thanks to everyone that's watching as well. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. What an amazing conversation. I just absolutely love it.
I've got 2 bits of news to tell you.
Oh, fab. Crack on.
Right. So, do you remember Boobgate? The comedy gig for Black Lives Matter, but you need to get your tits out.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Today. He was asking all about that on a thread earlier on Rafaz, either Kitchen Sink or Rafaz.
And then, so with that, I said to my male friend about it and how disgusted I was. And his first, well, if the opportunity was available for a man, I'd do it. And I went, there is one.
Yeah. Yes.
He did it.
He did. He got his knob out.
So this is what really angered me about it, is the fact that we've been to online nights where you know you get a list of people. It could be the MC's the MC's just called not MCing. It's just like a registration list, isn't it? Like, right, next Sarah Bridgman, thanks for that, Sarah. Next Lucy Orchard, next Kyle Davis. You know, so it's just like that. They started late. He kept fucking the list up. Most people were clothed, even though it was meant to be a naked one. It just sounded like an absolute shit show, and I was really annoyed because this friend of mine, was, you know, he put his money where his mouth was and said, right, okay, I'm going to do this. So he got his set together that he knows is off by heart because he didn't want to be fucking around with the computer and stuff. And he made sure that he took it seriously. And then he got to the place, and they were the least serious professional bunch of fuckwits ever. And I was so annoyed for him because he'd built it all up, and
it's just such a bad idea. I don't care if it's raising money for charity. It's just this.
Oh no, this one was just an open mic
kind of. Mic. Oh my god! But without clothes for some reason.
Clothing optional it is, and there were loads of people that were dressed. It was just, I felt really bad for him because he was like, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this." He did it. It was shit.
It's bad enough not bad enough. It's hard enough putting yourself out there as a comedian as it is without doing it with literally no clothes on. That's just crazy.
And then the other piece of news I've got is that there is a gig, an online gig. Mm-hmm. It's 1 minute of material, right? But it's the online gig. It's held in London, and it's a fucking bringer. It's an online bringer.
No, before you ask, I'm going to be busy. Whenever it is, I'm busy.
Come on. That's Kyle's talk about the new Dee Mike, but it's I my comment was, fuck me, COVID couldn't kill the bringer system.
No, nothing killed bringer system. It's depressing. Why do you need to bring? The point of the bringer was to make sure that it was worth it for the bar, because the bar makes the money, and they're like, well, we're going to let you have the room, but it's no good if there's only 3 people in it. It's not worth it for them. They're going to put staff on and what have you. So that's what the bringer is, not just to watch the comedy, but to make it worth it for the bar. In America, they'll have like a 3-drink minimum, which means you either buy 3 drinks or you pay the equivalent of 3 drinks to get in. So that's what a bringer is. But it's like, why do you need a bringer online? Fuck off.
I mean, if you've got people like myself or Annika from South Bend or Brooke, right, we will laugh at everyone's jokes. Really lively.
Yeah, and supportive in the chat as well.
Yeah, but you don't need to insist upon people coming into a Zoom room.
No, it's really crazy times. Oh man, I don't have any news other than my hair looks amazing today. I washed it earlier. It does look fantastic. I didn't mention it while Dee was here, but it does look good, doesn't it? Looks good. And I've got new material about veganism, so I was enjoying that. We've got a gig tomorrow, haven't we? Have we got a gig tomorrow? I was thinking, I don't have to do anything tomorrow. And then I thought, no, I'm sure I've got a gig.
No, we've got a gig at 8:30. We got the Hen House.
Oh, 8:30 p.m. That's a good one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
You're on that one though, aren't you? Hen House.
Yeah, it's how you got it, mate.
I've got all my gigs at the moment.
I'd like to put my name down, please. I'm my friend Sarah Bittman.
I'm
Sarah and I. And obviously I've picked up my other little friend, Sarah, Kyle and I will be performing.
Yeah.
But with the Hen House, it's because, I've been loving doing the online international ones, but I've got to do more UK. I need to, because with some of my jokes, I either remove them out or I change them because of the foreign audiences. What I loved about International Joke Day yesterday is I kept it a British set because it was the British component of the World Day. Mm-hmm. So I did the Fred and Rose West joke instead of making it a Ted Bundy joke. I didn't say the village parking lot, I said the village car park. And I just really enjoyed doing a British comedy for British people with British connotations. I do love doing all the international ones, and I think it's made me a stronger comedian because I've said, oh, hang on, this joke is not reliant on this word. I can change this, but make it reach out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like the Marmite joke, I can't do anywhere because Britons know that Marmite means you love it or you hate it. Whereas They may have heard of Marmite, but they wouldn't know about the 80s advertising.
Yeah.
Expecting a little bit too much of
Marmite still a thing, by the way? How is that still a flipping thing?
But
I used to think I liked Marmite, but I just forced myself to eat it. It's all right as long as you have bread toasted with a shitload of butter, a shitload of cheese, and maybe a tiny bit of Marmite, and you go, "Ooh, yum, 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 Marmite." You love Marmite so much. How come the bloody jar's always in the cupboard for like 10 years?
Oh, I hope I don't know. I don't know if M&S head office watch this, but you dirty bastards, you dirty bastards. You know what they sell now? Marmite butter.
Ugh, what?
You can stop that now.
Why? It's cruelty in so many different levels. To the animals, to the humans eating it.
Running around collecting the moms with their mom net. So yeah, we've got the hen house, which is 7 minutes. Tonight, I'm on for the crowd.
Oh, yeah. Tonight I'm gonna have myself
a real good time.
Oh, at least I'm gonna be online.
Well, so this is my plan. I liked during the second section of the our outro with the kitchen sink. I love telling you stuff that I can see in your eyes. You're saying, Lucy, we are streaming.
No, in my eyes, I'm thinking, oh, it won't be long now before I can go and have some tea. I'm like, we have been online for like an hour and a half. That's what I'm normally thinking.
Here, sorry, I'll take this. So, Joke Pit does all of the broadcasting for Dee and the Late Night Dee show with Ronnie, and the Dee does Posh with Harris and the Quizzically Challenge. So, Joke Pit do all of that. They've become sort of the online mafia comedy house,
right?
And I think something like this is perfectly advisable for them to watch.
Yeah.
So,
have you emailed them? Are you telling me something? We're going to be with Joke Pit by next week or something?
Well, I do keep tagging in all my posts.
Just ask them. At least you got an answer one way or the other.
Oh yeah, but then, because I'm trying. I identify as male at the moment, and this is not a gender joke. This is just that I am putting myself into a position where I am being more forceful, assertive. So yes, I was thinking today I might just message them and say, right, the kitchen sink.
Just do it.
Because they've got a Rolodex of guests.
Because we've got on Sunday? Maggie. We've got Dr. Maggie Irvin on Sunday. We got Ignacio Lopez next Thursday. If we don't get someone very, very famous on instead.
That we can't talk about, but they won't reply. Obviously, we want Dig on, but the original booking would be lovely. And I got to be honest, I'm half and half mind to get if they do reply with a yes, saying, "Look, mate, we have to leave now." Because it's not professional to put myself. It wouldn't be male to put myself down and move everything around. That's a very female thing to do. So we've got next. We've got Dr. Maggie Irvin, and I'm so excited because I want to know more about her.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know anything about her. We only know the doctor side. I want to know about Maggie.
We only know about the doctor is in the house.
Yeah. So then we've got Ig.
Yep.
Then we've got Ness Stevens.
Oh yeah.
Who's the TED? Yeah. And she's been getting onto paid online comedy gigs, which we need to pick her brains on that one. And then following that one, we've got another person that hasn't replied, but we can't mention. But yes, we've got lots of names, but it's a case of Joke Pit. Come on, have a look at what we got.
Yes,
I think we're highly entertaining.
I mean, I'm surprised we haven't got sponsorship from some sort of hair product.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Mentioning your hair.
Well done. Lovely. Thank you everybody that's followed and watching and interacting. The Vale cartoon representing. This This is where Sarah just has a mental breakdown and I carry on talking throughout. Kyle, thank you for your comments. Ace Platinum.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
I didn't ask your question, all right, but it was such a lovely fucking question. It was. I'll show it now because the thing is, Dee already discussed many times in interviews that she doesn't get put on gigs by other people. She creates her own gigs, so she wouldn't get booed because they're her audience. If that makes sense. So in relation, has Dee ever been booed on the stage for really suck? I've never been booed. I've had silence when I've made a Rudy joke. Sarah, I don't think you've been booed, but you were saying that you did that musical routine twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And therefore they were like, oh yeah, we've seen this. But it wasn't booed. It was just there was no. Yeah, but there was no surprise.
No.
That was the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've not been booed as such, but I've had a couple of experiences. I was in Port Talbot one time, and it was a rugby international day, and we were upstairs, and there was Bethany Black was on the bill, Andrew Lawrence was on the bill, I think. It was a few years ago, and we had a group of 4 or 5 people. They were part of a family who were there for the comedy, and they just sat looking at us like we were all pieces of poo. And I did my bit, and I was hosting, I think, and this guy, he was just so rude, and I'm like, why are you here? That was the one I remember, because he was just clearly did not want to be there, didn't want to interact. And I literally had one family to talk to, and I was hosting, and they were like, don't talk to us. And I was like, why are you even here then?
Yeah.
You know this is comedy. And in the end, they had to call off the gig because it was unplayable. And that was thankfully, Bethany Black was headlining, and she went, look, I'm very happy to perform. I'm here. I've come all the way from Manchester. It's absolutely fine. However, this gig isn't playable. So I'm also very happy to not do it. Entirely your choice. So we talked, we just talked to the managers, and I think they decided to put it after the first section. But I would much rather, and I have been booed. I've been booed at the Glee Club. But when I went even to put one foot on the stage, once they saw I had tits, that was it. Boo, it was a bunch of stags. It was a Friday night bunch of stags. This is why, they just hadn't been given enough attention. And it was about 450 people in. I think it was like a really big crowd. It was a Friday night weekend crowd. I just went, excuse me, pardon, what's that? And then, like how bullies do, they just go a bit silent. And I'm like, right, thought so, rude. And I just put them out of my head. I just ignored them after that. I didn't even notice them because they were right at the back, and security dealt with it anyway. It doesn't bother me that it wouldn't be great if a whole audience were all booing all in one, but that just gives you some information. It tells you what they think about what was happening with your comedy and them. But I've never had that. Most people tend to just politely sit there thinking, well, this will be over in a minute if they don't like you. I'd rather that. Well, I'd rather people be involved and it just at least try and enjoy the comedy, and most people enjoy it. I think women in general like what I have to offer because it's all very relatable. But I think it's not the worst thing. Heckling isn't the worst thing in comedy, far from it. Trying to get on the frigging stage on a proper gig, on a trying to get a promoter to just let you, on their stage. That's the hardest thing in comedies. It's just getting worse and worse and more difficult.
Yeah.
The gatekeeper is the hardest thing in comedy, far worse than any kind of bloody heckler.
Yeah. Let me get on the stage and then you can call me shit.
Yeah. Go, let me just, and it just makes me like some promoters like, oh, well, I know what my audience would like. Really? You sure about that? Half the audience generally are women. So, the amount of hey, Sloan. Lovely to see you. So yeah, half the, quite often in audiences, half of them are women, and the amount of bloody nights I've had to sit through, and they're all 4 men, and they're all just talking about the world from a man's point of view. And I'm like, I'd like to see the world from a woman's point of view now, please.
Well, I heard of I follow Jenny Collier, so it's Jen Collier, I think. her, and if you don't follow her, you should follow her. So what happened is she did a paid gig, and at the end of it, somebody, as they were all logging out, someone went, "Oh, I didn't like the girl," and it really upset her.
I'm smiling because so like my hair, by the way. Sorry, not that they didn't like the girl.
I know, I can see your face. That's why I've highlighted the message. Jesus, Sloan, thanks for giving. If anything, Sloan, I needed you to do that because she's pepped back up now.
I was like, oh, I want to go and have a cup of tea. And I made brownies this morning, so
I had I did an online gig, and as I started talking, I heard, "Oh, I'm not listening to her."
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's so closed off. It's just the lack of intelligence astounds me. That's just saying, oh, I don't want to spend my time in that person's company. That's what you're doing when you watch a comedian. That's all. And it's just like, at least, listen. The amount of gigs I've been on, like, I was at the Glee, and Zoe Lyons was on in the middle. So this is going back before I started comedy, so about 14 years ago. The first act, it was just meh. Zoe Lyons was on in the middle. She smashed it. She was so funny. She actually got the audience laughing because the audience just weren't laughing. And then we were creased, so she went from like dead to creased. And then the final act, we were just like, whatever. She was just blown, So if someone's like watching just because, she's a woman going, oh, I'm not going to listen to this. Fuck you, knobhead. It's just such
I'm so proud of you.
Stupid. It's so stupid. The women aren't funny argument. It's stupid. It's not that there's no intelligence in that argument. All you're doing is saying, I'm a stupid person who hasn't thought things through. Here's my bullshit. It's like, done. I'm done. Ugh.
Right. Things we need to mention. Today is Thursday. Check.
It is. Is it? Yes.
Right.
It's July.
Don't.
We're in the middle of a pandemic.
No, because I remember saying to myself, I was on a Zoom with a good friend of mine, and I was trying to work out my dates and stuff, and I went, what day is it? And I went, oh, that's it, June.
Yeah.
He won't let that lie. Now when I say what day is it, he's like, it's July, Lucy.
I really like that thing of no, it's the 456th of March.
It's the
it just feels like
of January, Berber. So Friday at 8:30. Tonight at 9. Right, tonight at 9 at UK time, I'm on Forza Crowd. So if you can, I think you're probably doing stretches with your parents or something by that time.
No, I'm free tonight.
Right, people, listen to the rules. Listen to the rules. When I speak, you put my name in the chat and press enter. I saw about 12 of my friends log in to watch Forza Crowd last week, and they just sat there going, oh, that's funny. Ah, that's funny. That's funny. Type it's funny in the comments. And then tomorrow night at 8:30, Sarah and I are at the Hen House. And then that takes us on to Sunday. Then we got Dr. Maggie. And for those of you that enjoyed Rafaz last night, not only is Dario
Durham. A good one. It was a good one last night.
Dario Durham has agreed to come on the kitchen sink, but you'll be able to see him on my Big Wheel Small Talk podcast on Monday.
Awesome. He's headlining the Joke in the Rafaz, the next one, the end of July.
Well, he's I've got him to do a 7-minute set because I wanted a British act to try and headline it, but it might be a case of if the British act doesn't get back in touch, we're gonna have to ask Dario to up it.
Right.
You said you were gonna do 7. How's doubling that and adding 1? But as he would say, he'd go, I got you.
Good. He was really funny.
He's so handsome.
He's a bit of a right. Everyone in the chat last night, we were like, ooh, we were like, get in the queue.
Yeah. Get behind me.
Right.
I've also tomorrow night, we do a weekly podcast called The Weekly Bazaar, me and these two guys that aren't comedians.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's a light-hearted gamble through the news. And what we do is we collect stories from all around the world. So there's always somebody American that's done something stupid, somebody in Italy that's done something stupid, and we talk about it and laugh. And last week I didn't say I was going to do it, but at the very beginning I told them all about Joe Rogan, and they're big Joe Rogan fans. I had to break the Joe Rogan news to them, and they were absolutely fucking livid. And we had such a great conversation about what you can do to improve, why people like that shouldn't be allowed to carry on. This, that, and the other. Is art subjective enough to be able to detract from the artist? And they were like, no, I don't want to listen to Joe Rogan now. I don't care. If he can do that, I don't care. And they were just so amazing. And guess what? It always interfered with when in the recordings, the noises come out.
Oh, that's Joe Rogan's spirit coming in.
We'll try and recreate it, but Alex is in pieces because it's all his tech that would have fucked up because he has such a great tech system. Something went wrong. And he takes it on so much upon his little soul. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's all right, mate. It's all right. But the thing is, we'll never get the spontaneity of that.
No.
That right. Quickly, Sloaner said, do you think it's the mentality of somebody that will automatically reject a performer because they are a woman? It's because they're a prick, mate. Like
misogynistic prick at that.
Yeah, like when someone is performing, there is the feeling of they are the funniest person in the room. And at the moment, I think some people, particularly men, can't accept that a woman can potentially be funnier than him or have big enough balls to get on stage in it. Sloan, all I can say is after we finished, press the rewind button and have a little bit of Dee Maxwell time. Because
it was a good one.
If she in the so I posted it on the I posted it on the kitchen sink Facebook page, and it's the Dee Maxwell with Keris Nelms two-hander. Dee Does Posh, and they discuss about the sexual harassment and the sexual abuse and the bullying and the mentality. And she Platinum Ace Platinum was asking about when she'd been booed. She gets her fans to buy her tickets for her venues. There's no question of who's the boss. So when she walks on stage, it's not like, oh, that's a female act. I wonder if she's funny. She walks on stage and they're like, Dee.
Amazing. I'm not surprised though.
I know.
Witchcraft. She's amazing. She's so amazing. So good. I can't wait to go and meet her in Scotland.
Genuinely, I don't think that wasn't just for TV. She would actually say hi to us and recognise us in a crowded room, even though you know she's
But I think when all this is over and we're allowed to go travelling, we're going to have to go and meet people and film it and put it out that we've met these people and had real life conversations as well.
Or maybe that could be the thing. We deliver our kitchen sink certificates that never got around to making.
Yes. I didn't like to say.
I think we can still make
world tour.
World tour.
Kitchen sink world tour. I can't do a fast. Oh my god! Talking about earlier on we were saying how organising this stuff and prepping and planning. People will see us doing this. We've been online nearly 2 hours, and they think, "Oh, it's only 2 hours." No, the amount of bloody work goes into it. And Refaz this month, I found particularly taxing because the minute I put on okay, guys, you're on the lineup for Refaz, and I've said in the past, I don't think I said this, but I will go. No bants. I need people to see this information because you get a bunch of bloody open micer comedians, particularly. Yes, I'm looking at you, Lucy. And they're all like, bants. And you're like, I need people to see this information. Flipping heck. And I
didn't bant. I just promoted one artist. That's all. I mean, it was just one. I know, but
I had already told off someone else for doing the same thing.
No, in fact, you told him off, and then it was almost in your voice. You were saying, "Cause I know what's coming next, mate."
Yeah. Gonna spam the hell out of all of us, and he will. I love him, but he's got no awareness of that at all. It's like, how many times have I had to say, stop spamming everyone, please? Ugh. It wasn't just, it was like, and it's always the afterwards, thanks, thumbs up, and it's lovely, but it's also like, I find it wearing.
Well, sometimes right, you've got to understand, for some of us that do a lot of these open mic group messages where you put the Zoom message in and the timings and this, that, and the other, they expect you to put a thumbs up to show you've read that message. So, and the other thing, right, seeing as you're pointing
I think if you haven't read the message, you're going to go wrong.
I'm talking, right? You got caught by your own petard here because you shouldn't have put fucking timings after their names.
Why?
Because when you put like number 1, Kyle Davis at 8 o'clock, number 2, Sloan at 8:05, this, that, the other, you're inviting people to think that they've got too much information and then they want to ask questions. Oh, can I move with so and so? I can't be in the room till such and such. Me. Just tell them they're on.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I just had, oh, and by the way, here's all my shit. Here's my information. Here's all my stuff to go and watch. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, here's some bands. Here's a GIF. I'm like, I was tell you what I was impressed with is everyone that I said be online for 10 to 8. They were champing at the bit at 7:45, and I'm there trying to make my tea, going, I'll open the bloody Zoom room then. And the people that said that I asked to be there for the second half, everybody was there. They were on time. We had a full complement, and it was a cracking gig. So well done to everyone for that. That was good.
It was a lovely variety.
You are.
Well, next time I might then, for next time, if I recruit Kyle or Sloan to be the gallery watchers, we'll outsource it. Who's doing the tech for my night?
Me.
Oh, can't you find anybody else?
Who do you want, you bitch?
Well, no, because then, I'm trying to take as much stress and weight off you as possible.
Well, there's no one to do it.
Does Kyle really have children's books?
I don't know. No, you haven't.
Right. Look at that. As if by magic. Watch this.
That's very kind of you. Thank you, Kyle. But then I have to be in the room, sitting on tenterhooks for when everything goes tits up, which it always does.
Well, I will maybe be
I might as well just do it myself.
Well, no, as the MC, I will be making sure I watch all the messages and everything to see if there's any changes or if anybody wants to name pronounced in a certain way. I'll make sure that I make myself available to those messages.
I was going to say, well, we could talk about this offline.
Yeah. But with everybody coming to Rough As, I know that you get tired of it, but you've created such a lovely space. And people absolutely adore it, and it's an outlet for so many people. There's,
really I love how people love it, and enjoy it. I do love that.
You can't hate that, and it's
I love that. I don't love the organising of it though. That's my problem.
And it's a motley bloody crew, but they're brilliant.
They're all great. I really enjoyed last night, especially because. And it's up for another few hours. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's on the YouTube videos on the Rough As YouTube channel, and it'll be coming down probably by tomorrow morning. So get on it, have a squiz through.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I really enjoyed the nationalities that we had. The guys from Trish Sullivan from Chicago, and Dario and Brooke, and as well as all our locals. It is really lovely, but it is literally. I'm like, right, I'm going to be putting out the information, and from 24 hours, it's just going to be questions, and especially when it's questions, I'm like, the information's there. Why are you asking me that? It drives me insane. I find it so tiring. So moan.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, Sloan. I forgot. Sloan said she doesn't have to do tech stuff because her internet is temperamental.
Sloan massively helps me in real life, IRL, with the timings. She was brilliant in IRL with the timings and the light and everything. Because because it is so much, isn't it? Like when you're trying to do the timing and the spotlight and the thing, you can't just sit back and enjoy the comedy. You can't just sit back and go, oh, has he just mentioned something that someone's going to moan to me that's against the rules for? You just can't listen to it or take it in or anything. So I was able to actually listen to some of the comedy last night. So I did quite enjoy it.
If I can hear the following noise in the hallway, right, that means that my cats have got a dead mouse.
Nice.
Because they're playing with it like, I know what they're like. When they play with a normal toy, it's very bat, 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 bat. But when they got a dead mouse, it's ooh, ooh. So my mum was upstairs on a Zoom meeting. I was downstairs at Rafaz, and then I could hear.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, bollocks, right? So it's counting down to about a minute. So I've got to ding the bell, flash the light, press the message. Right? So then I realised I have to wait, and I'm thinking, Paul, don't do a long intro because usually he goes this to next, da da da. But I knew that this was going to be the one where he'd be like, so let me tell you a story, because so I had to wait for them to say 5 minutes. I could press the kitchen timer, beep, and then fucking run. And then I'm like, I've got a dead mouse and a bit of tissue. I had to just put it next to the computer because I didn't want the cats to have it. I couldn't go outside. Yeah. So when Mum came back downstairs, I sort of called her over, and she sort of tried to I'm like, look, and she looks, she's crying with laughter because I'm trying to help run a comedy night with a dead mouse next to me.
Oh.
Oh. There's no business like showbiz.
When I did the gig, the Joke-a-thon yesterday afternoon, right? So I'm stood in my living room trying to perform to the camera, and I noticed, because my cat Bruno is 14 years old this year, he's quite old. They only live for, on average, about 15 years anyway. So I'm just like, any minute now, he's going to, trumpet. So I was like, right, I've got cat litter in the house because he's, he doesn't like going out in the cold and the wet.
Yeah.
And as I'm performing, I look around and I notice like he's going for it, and I'm like, oh no, is he gonna be scratching away at the litter? Is it gonna be a number one? Is it gonna be a number two? Because number one's the noisier. But yeah, it is. It is showbiz. So glamorous. All right, Lucy.
Well, sorry, just the guy from our for our gig tomorrow just sent me a message, and he was like, oh, you've gone quiet. And I'm like, no, I'm typing, I'm broadcasting.
You don't get this in the one show, do you? Excuse me, Matt Baker, just texting my friend back.
just responding to a gig request, as you do.
Yeah, 5 minutes, okay.
So I'm going to say we wrap up because I love a coffee. My eyes really want the coffee. I've tried, because usually if I feel tired, I drink water. It's a truck driver's trick, this. If you drink coffee when you're tired, what goes up must come down. And when you're driving 44 tons of haulage, you don't want to crash. Like literally, when they go, do you hate that
idea, is it?
That crash after too much coffee. With me, it gets me in the papers. So you drink water because that's all you need. Genuinely.
Yes.
If you feel tired or your eyes are like, or you're yawning, because I've got window open either.
Well, I've had 3 cups of coffee today. It hasn't worked. So you're right. You need to drink water. Can I just say, look at that. Proper curl.
That is a curly girl.
Curly girl method.
Are you praying or are you scrunching?
I did a bit of everything today. I'm glad you asked.
Oh, you little mink too.
Co-washed my hair with the co-wash, with As I Am co-wash, and then from there down, just a really good conditioner. Thanks, home. And ooh la la, indeed. And then I use the intensive conditioner. So, and the trick is to do all of this in the shower when the shower's off, so your hair's soaking wet. and then I put in the gel, and then I plop it using a towel. You just plop your hair, you scrunch it all up, and you plop your hair. I had to do it because I went swimming in the sea on Sunday. I'd washed my hair on Saturday, went swimming in the sea on Sunday, had to rewash it on Sunday, and then it was awful. It was just too much washing of it. So I waited today, and I've done it, and I feel better now. My hair's, but it still doesn't feel, because I've had straight hair my whole life. I've kind of forgot that it was wavy, so I've not like encouraged the curl. Like, it doesn't feel like it's me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like it doesn't feel like this is my hair or this is my normal hair, even though this is this is my natural hair. So that's probably why apart from I've become a teenage girl, I think that's probably why I'm going a bit crazy really with my hair. It does look nice, nice shiny as well. Look.
It is very nice. You finished now?
Yes. I did put a bit of oil on it as well.
For fuck's sake. Have you finished now?
Yeah.
Right, Sloan, last compliment, otherwise you'll set her off again. You'll set her off again.
Fancy. Look at it. It's good.
What am I working with people?
Don't sack me, Lucy. Now you got StreamYard, you got your own YouTube channel, you can sack me off.
I can do what?
You can sack me off now. We still got 41 followers on Twitch. I'd love to get that up to the 50.
Yeah. So maybe Dee's friends can help us. We'll get it to maybe retweet the Twitch. But again, big round of applause and thank you to Dee Maxwell, who
amazing.
So stressed for time today, and she managed to give us more than we'd even asked for. She's just
phenomenal guest.
Just so generous and articulate. I think I like the idea that when you ask somebody something, like, we know from working with students and you say, how are you? And they don't know how to verbalize what they want. And if you haven't got if you can't verbalize what you're feeling, you don't feel like you're being heard. And Dee has such a way with words to get her point across. And she balances a rawness of words with an effectiveness. Yes. And if you get a chance, I have put links on the Kitchen Sink Facebook page of her rants, like the one that go into Tesco's. For those of you, if this is a test, find out what a bobby is. I'll tell you later. Right. Okay. So
that was my confused face.
Right. Okay. So yes, watch us tomorrow night. We're going to be on. Yes, Sloan, one of those, a bobby. She uses the terminology a lot, and in Scotland, a bobby means something completely different to everywhere else. Maybe use somebody else's computer to search it.
Google incognito.
Right, so we're going to go. We're going to thank everybody else thank everyone for turning up. Please give this a share and a like. Obviously, I know that you guys have given us a follow, but you never know. Somebody else might be able to give us a follow. Ask your friends if they're on Twitch and say, would you help our mates out and get those following? Because we're just 9 more follows away from hitting the next level.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say we're signing off now. We're going to press the red button, as Sarah says. It's the red button.
Press the red button.
The red button. Bye, Sloan. Bye, Kyle.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
End broadcast.